Major.
We're live.
Key Lime Pie Bakery.com.
You know we're live, and you're reading.
I'm sorry.
You're reading my lip balm.
They expect that from me. They're like, she has no clue about life. You look very dressy today.
I know, what the heck?
Hi, everybody. It's Sunday, January?
It's June.
It's June 2nd.
Yeah.
2024, episode 190 of Flock Around the Table. Just in case you're confused, like I'm confused. I've actually been back.
She's been back for a hot minute.
For a week. And
she hasn't seen me for a week.
I haven't seen her since before.
So she walked in this morning and went, your hair is short.
I didn't mean it. Look, she finally did it, guys. And it's probably grown out an inch since you got it cut.
Probably has.
It's so cute. And look,
oh my goodness.
She took her stitch markers off and put them in her ears.
Yeah.
Isn't that the
So
best?
I thought if Deb's here, we can have marijuana earrings in.
Yes, we can. That's
Vitamin
so
M.
cool.
Vitamin M for
Deb.
Deb.
And I have my Bermuda shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Back from Bermuda. Great trip. If you get a chance to go. It's a wonderful island. People are friendly. Food's expensive. Don't look at the menu. Look at the menu. Just cover the prices.
Yeah, just don't look at the price.
It's just, but
be price blinded.
Yeah, my husband, we went out to lunch the one day and it was like $60-some. A little high.
Yeah, it's a little high for
a burger and 2 fish tacos, a drink, and some iced tea.
Yeah, that's a little pricey for that.
Pricey.
But whatever.
But yesterday,
when in Rome,
we went out to get nachos because I had a craving for nachos. So we went to Chewy's here.
Yeah, okay.
And after the tip and everything came into the 50s. So
right.
I'm thinking because now the way that appetizers has become so expensive, they used to be $6 and $7. Now they're $10 and $12.
When Jamie goes to Wendy's or whatever and gets him lunch and me lunch, it's $25 at a freaking fast food joint. So I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. So it's like
no,
you're just going to go and you do your thing. So, but if you ever get in the neighborhood of Bermuda, you're floating by, flying in, jump off a plane, whatever.
Hang glide in.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's one of the best beaches, the most beautiful sand. The people were friendly.
Some nice golf courses.
Yes.
I know you're trying. She's trying to get my husband to go.
Yeah, I want her to go. And my sister, because I looked as well.
I think I could go without him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be a good girls trip. And they have direct flights from Philadelphia and New York, and it's not overly expensive. And if we went in the beginning of June, but if you go in July,
they don't have direct flights from here.
No, sorry.
For fuck's sake, what about Cincinnati?
No.
Chicago?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't check. I just looked New York and Philadelphia. I don't know why.
I'm not going to drive to New York or Philadelphia. Well, Philadelphia would be closer than New York, but I'm not going to drive there.
No. It's always a hop flight, way to go. You got to do that, So, and New York was fun. We went after we got off the ship. We took the excursion into New York. And then they took us to the airport because our flight didn't leave until 4.
Did you get a piece of pizza while you were in New York at least?
No, I got a pretzel.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine.
A
pretzel, a hot dog, or a piece of pizza. That's...
Yeah. Well, I will not eat New York pizza because that's not pizza.
We're going to fight. We're going to brawl over this one, woman. We are going to duke it out because, goddamn it, that's the only freaking pizza.
No, it isn't. Chicago has the best pizza.
That's casserole.
No, that's pizza.
It's casserole. If you have to eat it with a fork, it's freaking casserole.
Well, who rolls a piece of pizza? It isn't a
you don't
taco.
Roll it. You fold it in half.
But it isn't a taco. It's pizza. Pizza you eat as a slice, not as a taco. Okay.
Well, you can't eat Chicago style pizza as a slice.
Well, no, because it's pizza.
And it's a casserole. It's a casserole.
I'm telling you, the whole week, and I'm not disparaging anybody who's from New York that watches this or New Jersey, but I'm telling you, by the end of the week, I was talking like this. I was just going, I thought, I can't sit there. What the hell? You're going to do this. He wouldn't come in when I told him to come. He told him to come. He doesn't come. What the hell am I going to do? You got to do it. What you got to do.
Sounds like Fran Drescher by the end of.
Oh, I'm serious. It was after a while, I wanted to get up and just look at that poor man and say, just go do it. I can't listen to her anymore. And she was sitting behind me upstairs because I sat upstairs a lot and knitted.
Oh, like in the library or by the bar.
The library was very busy. Even on the non-ship days, even on the days we were docked, because we were docked for 3 nights. Even on those days, the library was always busy. I actually got this cool picture. You know how they have the tree in the center?
Yeah.
Well, on the eclipse, they have it suspended from this ball. And it started growing, leaning. So one day they decide to put a platform, and it's just like the solstice. So it looks just like that. So picture yourself in the library. They put a platform out to this ball where the tree is in, and they're digging the tree to try and get it rebalanced, recentered. Yeah. And they're out there digging, and there's not too many people on the ship or anything, but they got people stationed on all the decks so that nobody would walk across. And at one point, the guy comes up and he hits his head on the tree. Timber! There goes his hat all the way down.
Oh my goodness.
And then he sneezed or something. I don't know what happened because I was on the other side. And the next thing you know, there's dirt flying all the way down to the bottom of the floor. And these guys were on like deck 7 down to deck 3. So it's like this big drop. And this one little lady, she's down there screaming, "The ship's falling apart!" And she's like making a big issue. And everybody's running around going, "Huh? What are you talking about?" So anyway, hello, Colleen. Hello, Carly. Hello. Good morning, everyone, from Diane. Is that Diane? My eyes are getting worse.
Yeah,
Diane.
it is. Or Diana.
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 Okay. That's it. Anyway, so I'm back till the 13th. I was going to try and calculate the days.
That's 11 more days.
11 more days.
You'll be here next weekend.
Yes, I'll be here next Sunday. And
then she's off again.
Yep.
Off and running.
I'm off to Iceland and Wales and Scotland and England and Ireland and water and another rock in the oceans. So that's what he said. And on this last trip, I didn't bring him today, but I'll try to remember to bring him next week because we were on the eclipse. They had the hot glass.
Oh yeah, yeah. And she sent us a photo. It's a nice little
of a nice fish. And I named him Lucas Aaron because those are the 2 guys that were up there working.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you wouldn't forget. This is your dementia.
Right. Kicking in. So
kicking in. So you remember what the guys' names were. You named your fish their names.
So
okay,
that
Lucas
I could also
Aaron.
mention them in the survey, and I didn't have to write it down or take a picture of their name tags because that's what I do to remember to say thank you on the survey. When you take a cruise, they always want you to give a pen and they get noticed and stuff. So I went up and Lucas looks at me and he goes, "I know you." And I said, "We've met before." I said, "Have you been on the eclipse?" I said, "It must have been years ago if we were on the eclipse." And he says, "No, it was on the solstice." Well, I had been with him when I made my amenity, his little jellyfish that sits in the middle of his paperweight. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." And I said, "I can't believe you remember me after the thousands of people you've done glass with since."
Well, that's because you're memorable. You are memorable.
Well, it was the
You're
same
not
thing.
Quiet. You're not.
No, I'm bouncing around all over the place.
Yeah, and you'll. Yeah, you're everywhere talking with everybody.
Of course, we're supposed to be doing this fish, and you get to blow, and and then they have to go put the eyes, and you squeeze a tool to make the fins and everything.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm talking to the people here trying to figure out what we should name the fish.
Right. Not really doing the fish.
Not doing the fish or anything. I said, should I name him after the captain? That'd be kind of fun. We could name him after the captain of the ship. And we were all just having so much fun. And then I kind of figured out. I figured out.
And hi, we're international. Maggie's on.
Oh, hi, Mags. There we go.
She likes my haircut.
I do.
I like it too.
I do.
You know what's so funny is, so I had a cut and I went over to my in-laws' house. Now, you guys don't really know this, but my hair has always been short. Our audience doesn't know this because since we started this, I've been growing my hair.
Yeah.
Long.
I think it was, yeah, you're right. It was shorter, kind of a bob cut, but you had it shorter most of the time I've known you. Yeah.
No, only
Really?
the last 3 years. Only the last 3-4 years I've been growing it out. So when it first moved here, it was as short as yours,
right?
And Sharon's,
right?
Or Sandy's,
right? You got to remember
you
that.
Gotta go back,
right? That my memory, it's being dementia, like
dementia.
That back then I remember, but I don't remember 2 or 3 years ago. See,
so from 7th grade up until I was about 48.
Oh my God.
But this is actually long. It's normally shorter. It's normally as short as yours. But I told the lady, I said, it's completely up to you, but we're taking this off, and the longest I wanted is like a long pixie cut. And then I don't care. You could go as short as you want.
Right. Shave
you could shave it. I don't care. You could put a number 1 clipper on it. I said, I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm not going to be one of these that freaks out and says, you cut it too short. I'm not.
Right.
I said, this is you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
So this is what she did.
That's what
I'm going to have to go back and have them cut off a little bit more. Cause I don't have any short hair product at the moment.
Oh,
I have long hair products. Whatever.
It does have a tendency to go.
Oh, I have colics everywhere. So, whatever.
But that's okay in this world today.
I just let the colics be.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's how I did it on the show.
Like I'm not going to fight with you.
Yeah, I did the same thing. The minute you stepped outside to go from your room to breakfast, you were hit with this blast of wind. And so whatever you did, it didn't make any difference. The only time you looked decent was when you stayed in and you went down to dinner. So anyhow, that's it. But go to Bermuda. It's beautiful. Yeah. It really is not part of the triangle. The triangle actually ends 20 miles south.
Yeah.
It's just that it was conveniently named because they got blamed. But she said they haven't lost anybody in years.
Well, that's good.
And they haven't lost any more ships or anything because we have better radar, because we're not using the north. It's a magnetic pole anyway, I'm not going to get into that for you. Yeah. You guys would be bored to tears, but it was wonderful.
Megs wants to know what we're knitting on.
Okay, Meg, I'm tell you.
So I'll twofold you here. So the little dragonfly is one of the newest up in the Etsy shop.
Is he cute?
A little closer. He's very cute.
That's her hat.
So this is my hat. I don't have the pattern out yet. I have the pattern written, but I don't have it out.
Cool.
Because my daughter lost the first one, so I'm doing up another one, so I can get some photos of said hat, put it on the pattern. But it's a fold over brim.
Nice.
And then it kind of rotates around. So it's fun. It's a fun, easy. Like, you don't have to think too much about it.
Right.
But for me, it's a lot of pearls.
More than you care.
More than I would normally do. And it's my own pattern that I wrote.
Well, you could always adapt in here, but I like it. I think that adds.
I think it would show up more on a
different
solid
kind of
color.
color.
Whatever.
So
I'm working on that one. And this is my other one that I'm working on.
I remember when she just started this. This is the shadow shawl done on the bias.
Yeah, it's just done on a bias. So I'm.
Yeah.
4-row repeat.
Yeah. 3 rows. Yeah.
3 rows of knit.
Pearl.
And then
knit.
3 rows of knit, 1 row of pearl.
Yeah, that's it.
Alternating colors. It's
really cool. So that's what she's doing really good on that.
Surprisingly, I'm still have this much of the first ball. I don't know how. Whatever.
I hate that when you're doing it and you're making progress.
I have 2 balls. I am totally thinking of making that 9 feet long because I want it 9 feet
Right.
so you can wrap it around twice and it
Right.
still hangs.
And it still hangs.
But I'm still going to have leftover. I know I'm still going to have leftover.
But
and I only have 2 balls of that color.
What can get
from
frustrating,
Expression Fiber, the yarn. This yarn is from Expression Fiber Art. The other one is just undyed.
This, I think, because one, it probably is like a 467 or 480 or something like that. But you know you're making progress because that's getting longer. But this isn't getting smaller.
Does not look like it's getting any smaller.
And you don't gauge your frustration factor on the fact that this isn't done, and you're not at 9 feet. But you've been.
My frustration is Jesus Christ!
How many?
I haven't gotten even close.
You haven't even gotten into it. It drives you nuts when you do something like that.
Okay, so this one I frogged. This one ended up being my. It was going to be Fair Isle.
Okay.
So I had started a ribbing and then I'd started Fair Isle with black, and I didn't like it because he wasn't showing up very well because this is very marly.
Okay.
So I tinked it back. This was several episodes ago where I counted up how many whips I had.
Oh, okay.
And then I decided to frog some, and decide what the hell I was going to do with some of the other ones. This one I decided to tink back the Fair Isle part, take the black out, and then just do a hat.
Yeah.
So this is just like a beanie hat. Like I just round and round, and then when I got to the top,
just like a muscle, like the.
I did it just like the Musselberg. So
the Berg muscle.
I took my total stitch count, divided it by 4.
SSK, knit 2 together, knit 1 away, and away you go.
Yeah. So you end up with, a
really nice top.
Yeah, with a pretty nice top. Yeah. So I still have quite a bit left over of this yarn, and this is a super slouchy hat.
That is super. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put a palm on it because
because
that would like slouch. Pull it down.
No, but it's got good slouch.
But yeah,
nice hat.
Yeah, it's a fun little hat, right?
It is. It looks good.
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of the. Well, it looks great with
with marijuana
with marijuana leaves sticking out.
That's wonderful.
I can't remember the name of the yarn, but it's. I liked how it pooled a little bit too.
Yeah, it's a fingering yarn, so it worked pretty good.
Fingering.
Yeah.
She
has 2.
Y'all.
I should go away all more often. Look at her.
This one I finished too, and I crocheted black around the outside edge.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, how cute.
Yeah. So this is just the shadow shawl.
Oh, I love it.
I blacked it, and then I thought, you know what? I want to finish this edge a little bit more. So I found a black, and I just crocheted. I just did a
slip stitch or a single crochet. Looks like a slip stitch. No,
it's a single crochet. Yeah. I just single crocheted all the way around, and I originally thought, well, if I'll just do a single crochet around, and then I'll decide if I'm going to do like some sort of fun little
or something
little stitch, and then I'm like, but there's nothing.
This is perfect. No,
there's nothing really. I don't want to take away from the rest of it.
No,
by doing some picot or some.
No.
Yeah. So
this is perfect.
And of course, since I blocked it, I blocked it a little aggressively.
Well, that's okay, but it's perfect.
But yeah, so
it's just beautiful. That sparkle that yarn just makes it, and the black just gives you
makes it pop
like a frame.
Yeah,
it gives you a frame part. Oh, I love that idea. That's so cool. She's so creative. She makes me sick sometimes. I'm telling you.
Well, you could do a crochet edge around any.
There's a lot of them that I think about that after the fact, especially after I've blocked it, because sometimes the edges do it.
They just don't look right.
Yeah. Sometimes they just don't look good enough.
They don't look finished.
Yes. And the single crochet really does.
I think a slip would be good too, but you'd have to be really careful not to be tight.
Yeah.
Not to be tight with it.
Whereas a single crochet would be easier. So, and I have my hat on. And yes, guys, it really is a full muscle bird. Here, I can take the thing out. Oh, sorry. Now my hair's all smashed. I finished my muscle
This
bird.
is so much fun. I love the way you did this.
I do too, actually. What I did was I did the muscle down to where I would normally end it.
Yeah, she only does like half the muscle bird. And then...
I don't do the bird part. I do the muscle part.
Yeah.
So, but I could do the bird part by starting and then finishing it.
Yeah, you could.
But then
Whatever.
Have muscle bird, But anyway, so I did a big section, like couple inches of
ribbing right in the middle.
Right in the middle, and then I finished it to the end, like it did,
like a normal muscle
bird. And then you fold it right about the edge.
Just brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. And you think I'm brilliant for putting a single crochet around a freaking
you are
shawl.
And there you have it. You've got a hat that
you've got a muscle bird with ribbing.
With ribbing. And if you went a little longer,
you could make it whatever length you wanted.
Right, you could. You could add more ribbing, make the ribbing more on one side and not on the other side. But this turned out so cute. This is just pattern yarn, that Croy sock that I got at Michael's on sale for like $2 a skein. It worked out beautifully.
That is going to be one hellishly warm hat for somebody.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to take it to Iceland. Just for the hell of it.
I would.
I'm going to take it, and I may end up keeping it.
That one's incredibly thick.
Yeah, it is. And it actually fits her.
Yeah, I put it on.
Like so weird, but it's a little tighter on you.
I have a big noggin.
I have positive E's. You have negative E's.
Yeah, she's got positive E's. I got negative E's. But
yeah, this was my evening thing at night. I did take the ducks but I just didn't feel like crocheting. So I would sit at night when we go back to the room, and he would do his putzing, and he has whatever he did half time. And of course, this is the funniest thing of all. We're out on the ship, and I send my sister the text telling her where she can find me. She's like, well, give me a day or two to get a flight.
Right? Oh, because you're so used to when you're on a ship, you're with your sister. Right, I'll just text her where I am.
So I did.
On the ship app, not on your phone. Yeah.
No, on the ship app.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. He comes walking into the dining room.
Too funny.
Like the second morning, and I said, what the hell are you doing here? And it was like, the guy that I was talking to looked at me like as if I was crazy. And I said, I'm usually with my sister. This is just, and we had been talking about something, and he just totally slipped my mind. So Mike's like, I can leave if you want. I'm like, no, it's okay.
If you're having more fun with this gentleman than me, then that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. He was so cute. He was his little guy. He's from Maryland. Anyway, we had some fun talks, so it was okay. He was telling me all about his grandson, who I finally met, and I told him, I said, if you're not careful, he's going to end up with his name with numbers on his chest and not a name on his desk. So be careful. He totally runs the show. He ran into the captain, I guess, and he told him he didn't like the way he blew the horn. We had a little bit of fog one morning, and the horn was going off, and they were higher up, and the horn, obviously, I think they're closer to wherever the horn comes off or whatever. And he says, I don't like the way you blow that horn. And he goes, and I guess, and the captain's a real tall guy, and he was like, and this guy's a little short, and he had his captain's hat on and his sea outfit on, and he's an only child of both parents who work, and he's totally spoiled, and he doesn't have a lot of rules at home, according to the grandparents. But I didn't find it. I found him okay. We told him to stop it. He stopped it. We were in the store, and he was taking stuff out of the thing because he wanted to find something. I said, and he's throwing it. And I said, hey, don't throw it. Somebody's going to trip. And then I realized what I had done. I'm thinking I'm a bonnet, yelling at somebody else's kid. And the grandparents were there. The parents just sort of looked at me because they didn't really know who I was.
Like, how dare you talk to my child that way?
I thought for sure.
How dare you not freaking regulate your freaking children?
And I said, hey, somebody's going to trip over that. And then he just sort of looked at me, and he just sort of kind of went like this and shoved them all together. And then when he was taking them out, he was putting them right where he was at. And she goes, can I hire you? I said, it wouldn't last long. I and he doesn't have any idea who I am. Because I said hello to him and I got a high five, but he didn't even know who I was. And we saw him a couple of times on the ship during the week, and he was like, finally he figured out. He goes, what's that stick you're using? And I said, you mean my yarning? I said, my knitting? And he goes, yeah. He says, you're always playing with sticks. Do you have any extras? And I said,
one that'll whap you on the backside. No, no.
No, I didn't say that. I said, well, no, they're a little sharp. And he goes, I'll be careful. And I said, okay, maybe when I see you tomorrow at breakfast. I'm not getting up that early.
All right, then.
And then
Make sure you bring your mom or dad with too.
Yeah, I guess the last day they went to the beach, and he comes back and he tells the guard downstairs that he said, I'm done with all the water. He goes, we can leave now. And he just marches right back on the ship as if he owns the joint. I mean, I'm like, and I told his grandmother, I said, you got to be careful. She goes, I know. She goes, he's just got that personality. And she goes, my other grandchildren won't even get on a ship. They're always afraid it's going to go down at sea. And I said, what, have they read all the Carnival reviews? I mean, no offense, I didn't mean to be that bad, but it's always been Carnival that seems to be getting themselves in trouble. So anyway, it was just funny. He made the trip. He really did. He kind of did. He made it. That and the lady that I pissed off in the bar.
Well, whatever.
There is a ship right by. It's a bar ship. A ship that they've turned into a bar. And then they've got this swimming area for kids on this side with all these bouncy houses, things in the water. Yeah. And then the guys in the platform, the adults jump off into the water. Well, I don't know if this guy was a little afraid he wasn't going to get to the ladder or whatever, but he jumped off the corner a little bit, and he comes up to the ladder, and he's got his swim trunks stuck in the middle of his butt,
and his cheeks were showing.
Oh yeah. And I said, nice butt or nice ass or something like that. His wife's told me not to look. And I'm thinking, hey,
well, then he shouldn't display it.
That's why he should display it. Anyway, then the waitress comes over and she brings me because you have to pay for refills.
She huffed off. She huffed off because Deb talked back to her. Because of course Deb's going to talk back to her. Well, don't look at my husband's ass. And she's like, well, you should display it then.
What am I supposed to look at? I said it was quite not a delicate jump either. I mean, it wasn't like a swan dive or something like that.
And she huffs off.
So the waitress brings me a refill on my Coke because Mikey had their rum swizzle, which to me was a little sweet, strong, but I don't drink, but it was a little sweet tasting to me. And so she huffs off. So the waitress brings me a refill and she goes, no charge. Thank you for getting rid of her.
Evidently, she had been an issue for a while for the bar.
So anyway, I'm like, great. My husband's like, I can't take you anywhere. He says, are you like this? He goes, no wonder I have $10,000 sitting in the door upstairs so I can bail you out of some jail. And I said, but we went to this street fair, which was amazing. We had so much fun. The kids were out. Then a lot of locals. They closed the shops down on Front Street, no traffic. They have all these food vendors and everything. Now, this is their sandwich.
Oh.
Wahoo is a fish that they get in the middle of the ocean. I guess it's the first time I've ever heard of it. It's a very meaty fish, but not a fishy fish. So it's not like real fishy tasting. So it tastes more like a chunk of chicken, but it tastes like fish. Anyway, they deep fry it. Yeah. And I put it between 2 slices of sweet raisin bread with tartar sauce. Oh my God, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even. Yeah. First off, it was $28. And I thought, no way am I spending $28 to take a bite and throw away.
Right.
That's why you do.
I mean, $28 for the fish.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
On vacation.
Yeah, you're okay.
I'm probably not going to do that every day.
No. And it's a big thing because everybody was eating them. I mean, the kids were biting into it. They, must be an adaptive flavor. I don't know.
It's their thing.
So anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. And then they were dancing in the streets. So we're doing that. And
so you ate your fish and the fries.
I ate the fish and the fries and the Diet Coke.
And left the
I'm not big on raisin bread anyway.
I'm not really either.
No.
but
I like cinnamon toast, but I don't like raisin bread. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Now, their tartar sauce, I think they put rum in it or put something else in it because it's got a much better flavor.
Black
than
magic.
Ours.
It's black magic.
I'm telling you, those guys. But anyway, I'm walking down the street, and of course, there's police presence. There's a ambulance like on every other street, just in case people get going a little crazy. And the first time I saw it, I just said to the ambulance driver, he's sitting on the front on the hood, and I said, "Are you waiting for action?" And he goes, "They get a little rowdy later on." And I said, "Okay." And I wanted to say, "Is it from the swizzle or from that stupid sandwich?" But I didn't say anything. And so then, of course, I high-fived the policeman, and I see him again later, and I had done some shopping, and he goes, "Hey, you, the drunk over there." And I turned around and I looked, and he goes, "No, I'm talking to you." And I said, "I didn't have anything to drink." And he goes, "I know, you were picking on our drink." And I said, "No, I didn't mean I was picking on it. It's just that I wouldn't drink it. It was awfully." And he goes, and of course, I'm giving him a major explanation in the middle of the street. And Mikey's over there just kind of wandering away. He's taking like 2 steps this way, 2 steps this way, And he was like, he goes, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Indiana." He goes, "I bet they're glad you're here." I said, "Are you being like, sarcastic?" I said, "Or wise-tastic?" And he goes, "What's that?" And I said, "Wise-tastic is being a wise ass, but you're sarcastic." And he goes, "I like that. I'm going to use it from now on." So he's wise-tastic.
Wise-tastic.
And I said, "Okay." I said, or, sarass or whatever. It's whatever you want to call it. But it was fun. We had a good time.
That's good.
So, yeah. And I did get this done. And then I also worked on this shawl, which I started way back in December. And when I started my Stephen West, which is still kind of in the bag. And this is called Saturday Morning Shawl. Saturday morning.
So you were going to get it all done in one Saturday morning.
No.
But Saturday morning shawl.
Anyway, and it's just one of those projects that's an in-between project. My neighbor gave me this wheel.
Looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This wheel of yarn. Okay.
So you barely started getting into any even.
I'm just now into some gray, into the transition. Just barely.
Barely.
It had a
Are you going to put this on bigger needles or
no?
You just.
I mean, I do. I'm going to put it on a 60-inch.
Longer.
Yeah,
not bigger. Longer.
Yeah, longer. I'm going to put it on a 60-inch. Right now, it's kind of like sticking where it's not supposed to stick.
Good Lord.
But this is as much as I got done. That just this little bit here, because I was having too much fun bopping around this thing. And we got a micro car, which is about as
micro
big,
mini,
mm-hmm. Which is about as big. And I was sort of scrunched in it, so it was not much bigger than like.
But somehow or another, both you and Mikey,
we got in it. And I said, "I'll have to send you the video. You can put it on thing of Mikey getting out of the car." It wasn't getting out.
It's a clown thing.
Yeah, it's not. It was his feet, getting his feet to twist with his leg
to
get under.
Did you video record that?
Oh, yes, I did.
Now, Mikey's like 6'2".
Right around 6 foot. Yeah,
6 foot.
And he's hefty, but he's not like overly big. But I kept thinking of Jamie of Sasquatch, thinking of how we would even consider getting him in that, you know. And
Jamie doesn't fold like that anyway.
The good thing about it, it's about this wide. So on the street, you had plenty of way to maneuver. I kept saying on the left, because they drive on the wrong side of the road down there. Even their golf
she's
carts.
Driving.
And I'm driving.
Oh my God.
Because I could pull it up and give him a little more knee room. But it didn't have really good shocks, so I had to be really careful with some of the bumps because his knees were like right at the door. And he actually has a scrape on the one knee.
Oh my God. I would not.
Yeah. He couldn't get the seatbelt on. And he goes,
I'm wedged in here anyway. I'm not going anywhere. If anything happens, both legs are going to break. No matter what, if you had a seatbelt on or not. Don't crash, Deborah.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And of course, I'm driving and I've got this whole regular size road. And I'm driving and he's like, "Oh, over there, such and such." Of course, I hit the curb twice because I'm not paying attention to where I'm going because I'm looking around.
This is why I would never have Deb drive anything that I'm actually No, I'll drive. You be the passenger. Front seat passenger is fine. I know that you get seasick in the back.
Yeah, I do.
I'll make Jamie sit in the back. I don't care. But you are not driving me. She has, killed tires in Ireland. You're hitting roads in Bermuda. She's playing bumper cars with her mini.
With my
micro mini.
Micro mini. And so,
no.
But I did find out they have a Mini Max, which is like a smart car. So you sit side by side, and you can rent that. But I didn't see that on the website the day and actually I probably wouldn't have rented that anyway. I would have just rented. And the scooters, oh my God, those people, they just pass you at a moment's notice. They don't care. No. They just drive. And I was like, I'm so glad I at least got the Mini Max, because at least I had shell. I would have gone flying off, I'm sure, the scooter at some point, Yeah, I thought. And then some guy on the ship, you're going to love this. He had made a rolling, a motorized, car, rolling scooter that you
get. Yeah.
And it looks just like a motorcycle with the, the ones that have the two back wheels. And it looks like a trike. But he had it customized, and it's got fenders and everything on it, but they're not metal, they're plastic. So when he bumps into the walls and everything, they're silicone. So he had this specially made. So
there's silicone. So they just go whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, like this. And when he bumps into the walls and everything, or bumps into people, he doesn't hurt anybody, because he said he has no choice. He has to, he can't walk very far. And so I thought, and it folds up, and he had it specially made. And I said, you should pad this thing. Because he stood up and he said, look, and he clicks this button and it turns into a suitcase.
Like Inspector Gadget.
I know. I'm like, I like you. So anyway, and my shirt says Frog and Onion Pub. It was a cute little pub there. And I brought her back a couple little presents. And
oh, it's an onion.
They don't grow Bermuda onions in Bermuda. I'm telling you now, I couldn't find them.
No, they're probably grown in Georgia.
No, South America.
South America.
You said you like dish towels.
I do. Look at that. And I love pink.
I know.
You couldn't have gotten any better than that.
No, thanks, I did so good. I did really good. Yeah. So these little Bermuda onions is what we're all gonna. The girls are.
I'll put it on my. I have a pin thing.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's a little ball holder that
maybe I'll bring back Vikings for myself.
That Leah made for me.
Oh,
and I'm putting all my pins on it.
Oh, that's a cute thing.
She felted. She knit and felted bags.
Oh yeah.
Let me go grab it.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool.
It's really cool. Leah is the Pygmy Tiger lady.
Pygmy Tiger knits.
And she's in Michigan. And I think she's up at, I can't remember the name of the shop, but she's up in Midland. And she's like a super fast knitter. By the time I get done sneezing, she's got a sock made. So she's just really talented. And she's got 4 beautiful girls. And you all know her. And you've all probably seen her around and everything. So I'm going to lean forward so that I can read some of these things, because Carly votes for Chicago style. Carly, I love you.
Chicago style casserole.
Maggie is making 12 pairs of socks. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't leave them behind. The dog would have gotten mad. And Samantha loves your haircut. I like it too. So, yeah.
So do I. So I don't have, I just realized, hey, this would be a great one to put it in. So I haven't consolidated and put all of my pins on this one, but this is a little yarn bag that Pygmy Tiger Knits made. It didn't end up being as small as she wanted, so she did like 2 or 3 of these.
Oh, really?
And gave one to me. But so you run the loops through each other, and then your last one buttons on here.
That's adorable.
And then your top is...
Oh, it's sealed and everything.
It's sealed up shut.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So it's a great idea. I'm not sure what the pattern is.
Yeah, but
I can see if I can find it. But this is where I thought, well, I'm going to put my pins on here.
Yeah, she should do that.
So
Maybe I'll look for Vikings in Iceland. I got trolls in Norway, so I might look for Vikings in Iceland. So
yeah, I need to go find all my pins wherever they are. I have
I
them.
got them floating all over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
But see, you can tell I started this at Christmas. Look what I got.
Yeah, you got,
I
snowflakes
and a
and
mitten.
mittens.
So, yeah, and I only found this one. I don't know where I had that one. It was in
I
the
don't know,
bottom
but
of
that
my
one
bag.
needs to be replaced with a dragonfly because it's the summertime now. You need a
Oh,
dragonfly on it. We're gonna continue to add the seasonal markers on this.
This way I can tell.
Yeah.
Well, here, then I'll put this one up here because that was there. I'll put this up here so that'll show that in the season I started.
Yeah.
This is where I was in the summer because I don't know what I'm taking on the next trip. I got to figure out what I'm actually packing. Do you know it's only going to be in the 50s?
Beautiful weather.
I know. Yeah.
You know, if your sister doesn't want to go, I'll just go.
I know. I'm thinking I'm going to skin it because you look a lot alike.
Yeah. Well, I could just.
You could just pretend to be her. They don't look that close.
Right.
You got your haircut since then. They always they.
I just have to wear the visor.
Yeah, the visor.
Gotta wear the visor.
That's true. You
Yeah.
know. And what they redid this time, I don't know why I didn't take a picture. And when I got to the ship, they said, "Oh, we need a picture of you." So she takes a picture and I had my glasses on. So, which worked out perfect because they didn't make me take them off because some of the security guys want you to take the glasses off to
I
match
can't
the picture.
see.
And I'm like, "Oh, hi." You know, they've gotten worse in the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna have to call the doctor and do something about that. But anyway, and Karen, our little friend Karen, is up in Alaska.
She is.
Yes. And she told me that she booked her next cruise. I think she's going to do New England next year.
Yeah.
And Karen, I want you to know when you watch this is the ending of the hat. I don't have a nipple. So I don't know what you do.
She goes down to 2. I think she goes down to 2.
Really?
Or 3 or 4. Because you go down to 8.
You could actually end with 16 stitches,
Or 16.
4 in each little section is what it says. I think she goes a little bit further.
Well, she goes a lot further. I think she goes down to like 4.
4? Oh,
which is why she ends up with a nipple.
With the ends up with a nipple. I am going to.
Yeah, because I didn't end up with a nipple on this one either.
No. And I don't know what it is, but I am going to put a piece of invisible thread through so it stays where it's supposed to stay.
Okay.
You know, just because I do. And I really love it. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
I like the pattern. I like
the ribbing.
Well, but I like the
like the
pattern
way
of the yarn.
I did too. And considering you go for a sock, but I guess because it's a divisible, it was 144 stitches. 64 is common for a sock, I guess. 64-ish.
Well, it doesn't matter what it is.
So
it's
the stripes
still
are sort of a sock yarn.
Yeah.
Stripes are sort of set. I was reading this on thing because the socks I started in Hawaii and I got down to the heel flap.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not crossing over the brain barrier.
Okay.
It gets here and I just cannot figure out what I'm supposed to do. So I think I might have to start them over because I don't understand what it is. I'm going to take it into Marsha on Tuesday and see if she understands.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
You're supposed to go by. It was meant to be a real training situation. When you increase, you decrease, right? And you put a pin on each side of the decrease so that you know where you're supposed to pick up for the increase, okay? So it's kind of like telling you for the heel flap, I guess, and then somehow you end up going around the foot. I don't get it. It's not really adding stitches. It's not like adding a flap where you take and put them on something, as I've been reading other sock pattern. So, but I think that there's just a mental gap there. It's like the great divide. It didn't even work in the triangle, okay, with the magnetic North Pole over here and the North Pole over here, because I did get a lecture for about an hour telling me how we had to stop. Okay, this is another story. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I had to stop the car because Mikey had his phone out in the back with his directional thing or something from one of these websites, okay, about the magnetic North Pole. Okay, there's a magnetic North Pole and there's a North Pole. This would cause the triangle many years ago, okay, because the radar went to the magnetic North Pole, which is actually in Canada somewhere. I guess. So he told me, stop the car, pull over. So I stopped the car and pull over. I pulled over in a bus stop. Of course, there's a bus behind me, and he honks, and he goes right past me. And I thought, okay, fine, bye. And he's like, look. And then he's got all these little diagrams on his phone telling me where we are in the sky. And I said, I'm sitting here in Bermuda. How the hell am I in the sky? He goes, well, this is how they track it. And I'm going, I don't have GPS in the car. They told me not to use the air conditioning because it made the battery go down. If you got less than 70 volts in this car, it turned off. So you're driving the road, and if it gets less than 70, boom, it turns off. And so I was scared to death. So I stopped at every charging stop and recharged it. I think it's just a ploy for them, for you to stop somewhere else, buy a drink, and spend time. And they're all at these beautiful resorts. They put these in these beautiful resort areas. So you get to go and see.
And it takes,
beach.
an hour to charge 2 things.
Yeah. So I guess that's probably why
$20 for the charge.
No, it was free.
Well, yeah, because the drinks were $32.
$30.87. So I guess that was part of what they were doing. So anyway, so he's trying to explain to me this, and I said, I'm not going by GPS in the car. What do I care? I said, just get back on the map and tell me how I get back. And he goes, well, go the way you came. And I said, we've only made 62 turns to get to this. You kept telling me turn here, because you wanted to find out where the point was, where the magnetic pole went away, and we were at the other pole.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it's 20 miles from here. He says, but if you go 20 miles south, I said, I can't go 20 miles south. This isn't a boat, because we were like right on the beach by this point. And I had no idea where I was. There was no resorts, no signs, no nothing. I couldn't have told you if my life, I know it was on Bermuda. And so he's over there like digging around with, I'm telling you, you engineers sometimes just drive me crazy. Just drive me nuts. Just unbelievable. But he's still alive. He came home, gave me his cold. Yeah. So he's here. Yeah.
He's at home.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be going anywhere soon, but yeah.
He made it back from Bermuda.
He made it back from Bermuda.
You made it back to
I did ask him if he'd go again. And he
God.
said yes, he would do it again. But this next time, he would like to just stay on the island. And I said, why is that? And he said, well, this way I could just kind of make up my own drink and sit on the beach and drink my own drink. And I said, well, you'd have to make it look like water, because they do search your bags when you go down to the beach.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they did look in the bags. I did notice that when they were going through the thing, because they didn't want you to bring any they want you to buy the stuff there, obviously. Yeah. So I said, the one person it was a sealed water bottle, so they let them take that in. And she had baby bottles. But he did open up the baby bottle, asked her to open up, and he smelled the baby bottle. So obviously people have done things to bring in liquor and stuff like that. And, he didn't look too far into the, there was another bag, like, plastic bag. And she goes, those are used. And he didn't look in there. So. I don't know if it was
those are dirty diapers.
Yeah,
but be my guest.
There were 2 cruise ships in that day. We were back to back. It was like here and here.
So would he cruise down and then stay in the resort, or just fly to the resort?
He said he would do either. He said because he didn't find in the beginning of June, the end of May, he said the prices were reasonable. It was like 4 nights. 2 of the resorts were right around $600 for 4 nights.
Yeah.
Now, again, I don't know what kind of room it was. Was it a closet? Was had a balcony or any of that? But I mean, that wasn't so bad. And there's plenty of Airbnbs that run about $100 a night that serve breakfast. So, and their insurance on their car is uber cheap. Mm-hmm. That's their number one thing there. They underwrite insurance out there. That's their biggest thing. Tourism is number 2. That's the big thing. Their license plates are like way out of line. Her car, she says, is worth $1,000, if that. But her car insurance is $2,000 a year. And if you don't have car insurance, they throw you in jail. And they have people employed that they walk around and check, like they do. There used to be this show on called Parking Wars. and they had these guys that they were in Detroit, and they were in, oh God, I don't know where the other city was, Philadelphia or something maybe. And they had these, it was a reality show, and they had the car guys who drove along with their computer, who scanned your license plates if you owed money, and they booted cars and stuff. Could have been in New Jersey too, for all I know. And I just remember that thinking, oh my God, that's probably what they did. And they don't tolerate a lot of things there, but they have become,
unlike here in the US where you're supposed to have insurance, but
Right.
you know.
Well, she did say she did have sympathy for us because they just got rid of some of their older government guys at post-pandemic. They actually got some younger people in who are a little more progressive, making Bermuda do a little bit more stuff, more solar, more, hey, we can, lower some of this stuff. Like they're growing a lot more of their own vegetables. So like when they're growing cauliflower, which grows really good well there, when it's in season and the farmers are selling it, they don't import it. So the farmers make money. However, it was $19.
$19 a head for cauliflower in Bermuda.
Cauliflower in Bermuda.
In the grocery store.
Right. But she said you'd think when the farmers are selling it, they drop the one. No, they still leave the one because you're used to paying $19 if you want cauliflower.
Yeah, and the farmers, are going to be paid.
Now the tomatoes were reasonable. The fish was like totally reasonable. And
of course.
Yeah, of course, because they have so many fishermen and everything like that. And a lot of the cruise ship actually brought in supplies for them.
Sure.
So when they come in, it's not just us taking away from them, even though we're there for 3 days, 3 nights. We also brought stuff to them. So it was pretty cool. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, she said she feels for us because she knows she lived in Bermuda all her life. And it took Oprah 6 months to get permission to buy a $48 million estate. And she got pissed. And she got pissed.
Oh, poor Oprah.
So when they finally gave Oprah permission to buy this land, she had already bought in Hawaii. So
poor Oprah.
Right.
I feel so bad for her.
Well, the guy was going to they were going to ban her. Supposedly, she had a year that she couldn't come to Bermuda for a year because she backed out of this deal.
Good for them.
So I don't know if she goes there anymore or not, but
good for them.
So, because you have to have special permission as a non-Bahamas Bermuda person, and they don't like to be considered Caribbean either. Don't call them Caribbean,
yeah, right?
Because they're not. They're just another rock in the ocean, she said. And I said, of course, because that's the only places I go. I said, I'm going all over the place because I have to stop at every rock in the ocean. So anyway. Let's see what else is there. Anything else? Nothing else really, other than the fact that this cold comes and goes, and I think some of it's allergy as well.
Yeah.
Well,
you haven't been here much, but our spring season has been really weird here.
Yeah.
Like April was really rainy, and then May was a lot of it was okay. It rained here and there. Mm-hmm. But the temperature was actually above normal for a good portion of May. And now in the last week, it's like the temperature has dropped back down. I don't know what it was. Was it 65?
It was yesterday? 65 yesterday.
At most.
And it was and it rained yesterday like as if it was.
It spittled. It was a half an inch.
All day.
A half an inch. And it rained. It spittled all day long.
And then the other thing is and then tomorrow it's supposed to be like 85.
Right.
So now we're jumping to
summer.
We'll
go to 85 and it'll be 90% humidity because there's so much rain, water.
On. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
We just have to learn to get used to it. It's Indiana. Everybody said, gee, that's too bad that you have to fly everywhere. I'm like, how many cruises go out of New York? And she goes, everyone I've been on.
Well, none of the cruise ships go out of Indiana.
Well, that's why I told her. See, I said, it's probably a good thing I don't live any closer because those 3-day weekends would be spent on the cruise ship.
Right.
I wouldn't even have to get off or anything, because they do.
Right.
And what's the purpose of a 3 or a 4-night cruise? I said, let's be honest, silly. I don't get it. You go out, you come back. You go out, come back. I mean, what's the difference? It's like taking a train ride to Chicago and turning around and driving back,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get to see anything.
Unless you lived in the port city.
Yeah, if you live in a port city.
If you lived in the port city, then
yeah.
Sure.
The guy
I'm going to take a 3-day weekend on a cruise ship. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy said that
Drop me off at the port, honey.
I
would do that all the time.
The terminal, where the bridge down, he goes,
Yeah.
They've got traffic going through. You have to stay in this certain section, obviously, because they're still cleaning things up. But he said Carnival's back there, and he said the Seaway's going to be back together. I guess they're going to go modular or something like that. The bridge is going to be put back up probably in less than a year, and the pieces are going to be assembled modular so that this is the way they make the newer bridges. Partly because of what's going on in Iceland. They came up with this in Iceland. Iceland is getting wider because it's on the divide there, and it's getting wider. So their bridges are like going like this. So they've came up with this expansion way. So they said they're going to do it much. So like if it wouldn't take the whole thing down, it would take that section down.
The center section.
Yeah.
And then
so
we can just make a bigger
section and put it right back in.
Yeah.
So it's a new way to make bridges. I guess they're doing it in China and in Thailand, they said. Not just, so this isn't a new thing that's going on, but something that's going on. So, but he said it was pretty devastating, the whole thing that happened. And I said, I know, we drove right underneath it. It's pretty cool, And when we got back to New York, it was so foggy.
Yeah.
I had no idea, because the day we left, it was beautiful. I mean, we flew in and it was a gorgeous day. And sure, there was a little bit of haze over Manhattan, but and we flew in on Saturday. On Sunday, I thought, well, there's no cars. So of course it's going to be clear and beautiful. And down under the Brooklyn Bridge, where after Hurricane Sandy, they redid the whole bridge area on the Manhattan side. They put in some buildings and restaurants.
After Sandy, that was like 20 years ago.
10 years ago, but they finally finished it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I guess they
take Sandy was a long time ago. And
I know. Well, Sandy happened when we went to Australia because people didn't make it from the East Coast to get on the ship in Hawaii, and half of our supplies.
So part of the Brooklyn Bridge was hit during Sandy?
No, just underneath it, because the surge, all the area down underneath the bridge on Manhattan side, that it took out like buildings. And
I wonder if that's what happened.
Stuff.
There was a diner, like an Airstream diner that was underneath. I could swear the Brooklyn Bridge.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
On like
Googling.
I couldn't find it on the maps.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't remember the name of the place, but I know it was like an Airstream.
Yeah.
It was like an old school diner.
Yeah.
On blocks underneath the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah. Now my sister
that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
so
she actually lived in a carriage type house back in the 70s when she lived in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's Dumbo down under Manhattan, Brooklyn overpass or something like that. It's called the Dumbo. It's very, very ritzy, very
I know
cafe,
it's very posh.
Very posh. Yeah. And it was so funny. There were 6 people on this tour, right? And our tour guide was a Native American, but he's Chinese of origin. And his family has moved out, but he started out in Chinatown, obviously. And he was telling us all these stories about how this neighborhood, when he lived here, it was junk. And now he's moved out because he can't afford it, because now they're turning it into something else. And then
because they've gentrified it.
What they've done, he said, Brooklyn has turned into something like totally different. He said it used to be your everyday, and now they're attacking Queens. Look out, Bronx. I didn't know Bronx is not a borough. It's a borough, but it's attached to New York. It's not the only one that's an island. It's the only one that's on an island. I didn't know that until this trip. All the other ones are kind of like islands. They're not attached. They're only attached by bridges.
Staten.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. Queens, and then the Bronx. And the Bronx is actually attached to New York. So didn't know that.
5 boroughs. Come
I
on
know.
now.
They're 5 boroughs. Whatever. So anyway,
Yeah.
this week we had the Hoosier Hills this weekend. I did not go. Sorry, Heather.
I didn't either. I went to my crawfish boil. I worked on Friday, so I couldn't go Friday, and then Saturday I went to a crawfish boil. So
And she sucked
I
the
missed it
heads.
last year.
She sucked the heads.
Yeah.
You did. No, we went last year.
We went to Hoosier Hills. I didn't go to the crawfish boil.
Okay.
Yeah, so this year I went to the crawfish
So
boil.
next year, you know, just gonna have to just have to put in vacation day
Yeah.
on Friday, and we'll
For
go
Friday,
on Friday.
yeah.
And you can go to your boil on Saturday. So we'll just kind of plan ahead for it for
Yeah.
next year, which is kind of good. But I did buy yarn. I went to Joann's and bought yellow yarn for my ducks.
For your ducks.
Because I'm making some ducky ducks. And I bought bulky yarn. I'm going to do the same pattern with some bulky chunky yarn.
Yeah.
And I thought, if nothing else, then I'll make a couple of big ones.
Right.
So I bought some chunky yarn. But I had to buy an N crochet hook.
An end crochet.
An N crochet hook. Big deal. So anyway, other than that, that's all I have to say about the subject.
Yeah,
And I hog the show. Nothing new's going up in that shop.
It's okay. Yeah,
Anything
I
new?
mean, there's been a few things up in the shop, like the vitamin M's, and the
I'm gonna have to buy
I
a
put up
set.
some cats. I don't know if you saw those.
And
Advent
there was
is
no
up.
other knitters on this cruise. I guess New Yorkers don't do it. New Yorkers just don't put up. Well, we don't
The
be
hell
playing
they
with two
don't. They
things.
take over the subway station.
I know. And yes, next week on the 8th, Saturday,
is
Knit and Public Day.
isn't it in Public Day? That's when the subways are taken over by the knitters in New York.
But there was
Isn't it
nobody
Public
came
Day?
up to me. Nobody said anything. Nobody even asked me what I was doing. I
I
had
was-
your cards all set with the. I wrote on cruise friend. I mean, which gives you know,
Not to.
sorry.
Yeah,
She's gonna slap me every second.
yeah, because she can't keep anything secret.
I can't.
Um,
I'm sorry. It's just I
it's
just
okay.
can't.
It's okay.
I get so excited.
I know.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
have been working on the.
I'm about to lose my mind, and I think you know it.
have been working on the advents, but I haven't been gangbuster on them because I'm waiting for my daughter to show up and make her work on them.
Right, I would do that because
But
she's coming up.
I have done quite a bit on them.
Oh yeah, great. And you know my niece who lives in Seattle, she's coming home on the 23rd of June. We're gone. Of course she's coming home. She's leaving on the 9th of July. You know when we get back?
10th.
The 7th.
Oh.
At like 2 o'clock in the
And
morning.
she's going to miss Tori too.
And I'm like, I miss Tori too. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is you're not supposed to do it when I'm gone. You're supposed to be here.
Well, don't be fucking con so much. Jesus Christ.
I have to. I mean, it's out there. I've got to go. It's just calling my name. And I've done the Caribbean and I've done Europe. I haven't done the Western Mediterranean. I've done the Eastern. But I mean, the Western. I haven't done the Eastern. You have to get your things straight sometimes. And I've been across the date line, but now I got to get into Southern Asia and check that out and get going. So, you know, but going to Iceland might be good because every time we go to Hawaii, Kilauea stops flowing, or that whichever one's blowing
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
stops flowing, and they don't because my sister's there and she wants to go see it.
Mm.
So hopefully the same thing will happen when we get to Iceland. It'll stop flowing so they can get a few days of reprieve from the volcano up there.
Yeah.
So, but I do hope to go by to take some pictures for you. You know, sorry. I know that's not good, but it's fun though when you think about it. You got to go see it. You know, that's the way it is. So I'm not real sure how that's going to work, but I guess we're tendered because it's right by where we're supposed to dock, but we're not going to dock. Oh, never mind. I'm just talking to
She's
myself.
just rambling and rattling on and on. I mean, I love her to death, but
Can you tell I haven't been around anybody for a week because I've had this stupid cold? And I don't think it's much of a cold. I think it's just more allergies right now. So
They are a little cray-cray right now.
There. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta say goodbye to Carly. Goodbye to. Oh, hi, Carrie. I haven't seen you for a while.
You haven't seen anybody
She
for a
just
while.
got off her first cruise and now she's hooked. All right, Carrie, give me a call. Send us a thing. We'll be on our way. Carrie, where are you going? Oh my
9
God.
days Bahamas.
Antigua. Oh my God. I haven't been to Antigua. Bahamas are beautiful. You're going to love it. Love it. Love it.
She just got back from that. She
But
loved it.
She loved it. See, you're going to love it. Got to do.
She's hooked.
I know.
She's hooked on
Your
cruises.
I hooked this one. I hooked the cruise. I hooked the sea days. Not so much the port.
Yeah, I could give a. I don't care.
You know.
I really don't care.
You're not into the museum stuff and things like that. No. You're just into the getting on the ship and cruising around.
Yeah.
I am too. The sea days are just wonderful.
Yeah. And you're 110% catered to.
And you have no obligation to do anything you don't want to do.
Nope, not a thing.
The view.
And it's all there. If you want it, you can find it. It's there somewhere.
Right, it's there. You can play trivia. You can go.
Yep. You can play bingo.
Play in a water park if they have it on the ship. If you want to go play that, you can swim in the pool.
You can golf.
You can take a nap. You can golf. They do have
play
golf.
cards.
Play cards. Do puzzles.
Go watch movies.
They do everything. It's just.
Or just stay in your room and stay in bed all day long drinking coffee and watching movies on the TV. It doesn't matter.
Right.
3 squares a day or 40 if you so want. Or just one.
Because you have to walk to the restaurant.
You do have to walk to the restaurants.
Do you ever? Because of course, I'm in the front of the ship and everything's in the back of the ship. Or we're in the back of the ship and everything's in the front.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't matter.
But that's just the way life goes.
I didn't think our ship that we were on was that big.
It was 1,000 feet, but you don't realize that.
I didn't.
It's 300 yards. It's a football field, and you don't even realize it.
There, you have the art gallery, and then you have all of the
cafe and the jewelry,
and then the jewelry, and then there's here's
the casino. Go ahead and play $1 or $2, and then go get a drink, and then
here's the pool,
and then there's that stupid. Oh God, I gotta go watch that lady again. Oh my God, you know what I mean. And so
then there's the library, and so
you'll have fun. Get into it, do it, and
she did it, and she's hooked. She needs to do another one.
Yeah, let me know which one you're on, Carrie, and I'll
just
see what
hate flying to the ports.
Yeah, it's getting there and doing that. If I could be like Scotty, beam me on, I would be okay too. But I have to admit,
and I think the worst port that you need to get to is Singapore. That's fucking ridiculous.
How? 17 hours and 55 nonstop from LA. That's what it is. But
and it's 3 hours to LA. That's 20 hours.
That's 9 days at sea.
I don't care.
And we crossed the date line and the equator, and it's so wonderful.
I don't care.
Oh my God.
18 hours in a freaking.
No, we'll fly out the day before, and then we'll leave later in the day for Singapore, and then you just
hopefully you can sleep.
We're going to be in first class, so it's not going to matter.
Yeah, but do you have like the little pod where you can lay down, full out, lay down?
Lay out.
I can't.
180 degrees flat.
I cannot sleep in any sort of upright.
No.
Even if it's lounged back.
Virgin Atlantic even makes your bed. They put a mattress pad down and they give you jammies. Yeah. So, all
right. Well, that's the way to do that.
Yeah, that's the way you do it. And I'll let you know how.
I don't have that kind of money, though. You have the money like that. I don't.
Mikey does.
Mikey's got it. You just spend Mikey's money.
I just spend Mikey's money. And Mikey's dad left us lots of money. And I figure if he's not going anywhere, it's half the cost. And I have to admit, I told him it is cheaper for me to go by myself, with Gail. Because I'm not paying for 2 things. When we go out to dinner, she gets a drink. Like if I'd had her in Bermuda, she would have paid for lunch because she would have gotten a drink, and she always thinks that I shouldn't have to pay for her alcohol. So then, that's why I make all the plans and tell her where to go and what to do and what to pack and what the weather's going to be and, why we're doing it.
But she doesn't do that anyway. So she's used to you doing that because she was the doctor and just was too busy to do anything, and you would schedule it all and go, okay, here's where we're going and here's what we're doing. And she's like, okay, I can go to the casino.
Actually, since she retired, it has become my job. Before then, she had a big input, because she was up in the middle of the night. So she would get the cheaper airfares at 2:00 in the morning. And she would get the better rates.
You were still scheduling the
excursions.
excursions.
And things like that. Yeah, I have to admit. I don't care.
And then you would pack. You would make, she wouldn't pack anything.
No.
So you would have to,
right. My suitcase is 52
pounds.
My suitcase is 50 pounds. And she's got, mine's only 36. Hey, you got something I can wear to dinner? I didn't pack a dress. Here, you want this one? Hey, how come my suitcase is now 40 pounds? Because she worked
80 hours.
Yeah.
All the way up.
And until the time we would take a flight, because she would get up at work at 7:30. We'd go to the airport. She would
and she's still in scrubs.
And she's still in, right.
Yeah, because she's still in scrubs.
Or we would come back and pray that she got back on time, because she went to work that night.
Right.
Because she couldn't get that kind of time off. So now, since she's retired, it's a little bit different. That. So anyway, and besides, she gets great deals because she likes the casino. Yeah. So, and she's good at it. So
she's good at losing money in the casino
and winning it too, for some damn thing. But she's not like me. She doesn't know when to stop. She always thinks it's going to hit it again. So she keeps going. Of course.
That's why she gets the good deals, because she keeps.
I get up to $200. I put in $100, and it gets to 101. I leave. I may have gotten down to 40, but I get up to 101, and I'm like, that's it. I made $1. I'm out of here. Yeah. So I'm happy with that. Anyway, we will see you guys next week. You have a wonderful week. I hope all your kids are out of school and you're starting your vacations and everything. So be careful. Crazy drivers are out there. And they did get the Indy 500 in after all.
Yeah, but traffic was horrific here.
They
did not do a very good job with the traffic this year.
No, I have to agree. We were actually
they do. Normally the traffic coordination and getting people in and out of the Indy 500 is normally, it goes without a hitch. This year it was
I think it's because of the weather, and that
was a fucking disaster.
They were taking things back away from the expressway because they turned roads into one way, and to get onto the expressway, but they were cleaning them up, and the race was on 166 when we landed. Mikey's checking his phone the whole time. What lap are they on, to make sure we could get out of there and not get stuck in the race traffic? Colleen, you probably ran into it, or you just party and wait until it ends.
I think Colleen skirted around the issue.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, you too.
She's like, normally it takes them like 20 minutes to get home. From the race.
From some reason.
And this time it took them like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Getting out is not anywhere near as bad as getting in. It can take you up to 2 to 3 hours to get into a parking lot. But when they clear it, because there's nobody crossing these streets, they just shut them down, and everybody knows that everybody's leaving, and you can't turn. You can't turn. You have to go. But they were taking all the cones off off the expressway. I don't know if it's because it was 8:00 at night or 7:00 at night. I don't know what it was. Maybe they're union.
They were not coordinated very well.
No, it wasn't. It was a mess. So anyhow, but they got it in, and everybody was like, you're going home with the race. I said, yeah, but we're going the other way. Because everybody was saying you're going to have trouble at the airport. And I said, no, we're getting out. We're coming in, not waiting for a flight to go out. So that was one of the things they were all worried about for us. And I was thankful they were worried.
That was like Jamie flying into Las Vegas on Super Bowl Sunday. My husband flew into Vegas on Super Bowl Sunday.
And looked for a hotel.
Oh, yeah. Well, his flights were great because
people were already there.
He actually flew in. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were already there.
Yeah.
So he ended up at some flea bag on Fremont Street. He's like, it was the only hotel he could find in 100-mile radius that was less than $300 a night. And it just happened to be on Fremont Street. And he goes, I still slept in a t-shirt in my BVDs on top of the covers because I wasn't even, we're talking about Sasquatch here. Like Motel 6s, he's totally fine with, right? He doesn't even remember the name of the place. He's like, it was out there by the mob museum, right? And so he was like, I was glad the next night I wasn't there anymore. But he also said that, so he walked down Fremont Street and he's like, the game was going to start soon. And I figured, I was getting hungry. I'd go someplace. So he found someplace to sit down, and it was outside. So you still had the Fremont Street experience, but you were in a bar and he could still see a TV, And so the server came over and said, "Sir, I want to let you know that there's a $50 minimum." Right. And my husband's like, am I okay to sit here through the game? Yeah. Okay, I won't have any problem getting through the $50 then. I'm going to sit here and eat and drink beer. Yeah. If we don't hit $50, there's an issue. Just go ahead. He's like, it ended up being like $125 by the end of the game.
For sure. Well, yeah.
Of course, they jacked up the price on everything.
Yeah. You could do the same thing. And we were warned. Yeah. They do the same thing. Watch the tickets on some of the items, not so much in town, but in the little shops, especially the mom and pop things. They'll re-ticket it because of the fact that this is a cruise ship. So we don't know that normally they would sell it to a regular tourist for $14, but they're going to sell it to you for $24 because you're on a cruise ship and you have limited time. So you don't know to go to the back roads to find it. But I did find the Dollar Tree, and I did go in, and I didn't buy one pen. I just want you to know, not one pen.
No, you bought 5.
No, I didn't. I didn't buy any pens.
I figured that's what you were going to say. I didn't buy one pen. I didn't buy one.
No, I bought pens instead.
I bought 4.
Nope, didn't buy a single pen. So Mikey was very proud. He goes, I came out with this little bag, and he goes, what's in there? And I said, I bought I like grid index cards because I was going to write some notes and things like that. And I bought some thank you cards for the crew to give them their tips. And he's like, wow. He goes, they didn't have any colored pencils.
Do you notice that the thank you card packs have gotten smaller?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not
8
or 10. They're now 6 or 8.
Right. These were $6 for $2. There's $1 plus. So everything was $2 or $2.50.
Yeah.
And they're equal to us.
I mean, it's still cheap.
Yeah.
But
their money's pretty though.
Is it
pretty? Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. I didn't get any because I paid with credit card or exact change. I just went downstairs and had them give me a change because I didn't want to have a bunch of Bermuda money. I have $1,000 in Argentine money, like 800 of their dollars, which is like 250 of our dollars or something. Because when I bought it thinking I would use it, well, then they took credit cards and I thought, well, I'll just sell it back, because they would take more than what they were supposed to. Because someone caught somebody in one of the shops. She said, no. She goes, that's $20 more. She goes, no, that's too much. They took, because I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
So you trust them, especially, and so they gave it back. So I started using the credit card thinking I could sell it back at the airport. Well, our economy was so bad, they wouldn't buy it back. So now I said, well, I guess we're just going to have to go back.
Exchange it here.
No, they won't take it. You can't get Argentine money except anywhere in Argentina.
You should be able to exchange it here.
No one takes it, not even Chase. Not even Chase, because it's one of those volatile countries that change from day to day.
So
and they don't take it back. Yeah. Some of those countries, they don't do on some of these. And some of the countries in Africa and things and Asia and stuff, you have to be careful when you get those monies. Yeah. So they won't buy it back. So because of the volatility of it. Venezuela is even worse, I guess. And Brazil is another one that's just unbelievable. So I figure next time I go back to Argentina, I got plenty of money for the taxi driver. I guess I paid $100 for a $12 taxi driver at one point. I didn't even know it because I said, I figured this was at least one
This is when you need a math person with you.
Well, I
You know-
even had my phone on to get the conversion. And so I figured it up and he said, no, 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 no. And then he told me what the price was. So then I counted out that number of bills, but it wasn't that price.
Yeah.
He actually, it was, I don't know how he did it, but and he went the wrong way because he didn't understand where I wanted him to go. All of a sudden, we're going right past the cruise ship.
I think we need to get off of this so you guys don't
Yeah.
need to hear this babbling back and forth.
I
We will talk to
know.
you next Sunday.
You guys
She
all
will be
love
here.
me and Karen's on. Hi, Karen. You having fun? Hi. Okay. She's in Alaska, by the way, guys. And I know it's not a touchscreen. If you notice, I'm over here using my fingers. And I'm going to say bye. I must be waking up or something.